Hi guys, hope you are well. Ehsan Ahmed here, and today I am going into a video just for my real estate agents, for all of my friends out there in the real estate industry. Whether you know me or you don't, we are in the same industry. As you know or should know by now, watching all of my YouTube videos and the content that I put out there, I am from a real estate background. Real estate is near and dear to me, and it's something that has helped me achieve a lot within what I've done in my career so far. And I know and understand the challenges that most real estate agents face. From first-hand experience, I know. And today I want to talk to you about something that's also near and dear to my heart, and that is hiring remote workers or scaling businesses. Whether you're small or medium size, I've got something for you today that will hopefully help you grow your business, save costs, and resource up to be able to scale. Hopefully that's something that you guys are after. And if that is something that you're after, this video is definitely for you. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. But I'm going to go into virtual assistants and why you should look at hiring virtual assistants. So you can tell this is near and dear to me. I've stopped up at a service station and I'm making this video because this message is important. Okay, hiring virtual assistants is something that for me has been an absolute game changer. It's something that has allowed our business to scale up double in a very short period of time. Something which I thought was going to be very, very difficult to do, but it's something that has happened because of the fact that we were able to resource up for a fraction of the cost. I'm not going to lie to you, the elephant in the room is, why would somebody hire a virtual assistant from Pakistan, India, Philippines, when you could have somebody in the office working full-time who possibly may or may not, based on cultural biases, represent the business, the brand in a different way. And that's a very valid bias. It's a very valid reason not to contemplate and work with virtual staff. But I don't know about you, I've certainly experienced this. I found that UK-based staff tend to be very, very difficult. They tend to be entitled. I'm not stereotyping here, please. Of course, there are great staff who are from the UK, who are based in office, who add tremendous amounts of value. I'm just telling you about my experiences. Maybe this is me as an employer, and maybe it's you as an employer. It's not the employees, but I'm not the only employer saying this. I've come across many employers who are way more successful than me, in the billions, who are taking a lot of their operations offshore. And it's not just the cost saving that's prompted that. It's, like I said, the entitlement of the staff, the lack of reliability, the lack of consistency, the lack of commitment, and then obviously all of the issues that you get in terms of hiring somebody, firing somebody, and everything in between. I'm not here for that. I'm not here to talk to you about that. I'm here to talk to you about the solution. So virtual assistants for me have been integral within the DNA of my business and have become ingrained within our real estate business. Okay, you're probably thinking, how can virtual assistants help me? Well, let me go into this. So virtual assistants for me started off within property management. So it started off within the property management side of the business. Most communication is via email. Picking up the phone is limited. And interaction is predominantly via written form, which is quite controllable. You know, whether that's somebody in Pakistan or India or somebody in the UK, doesn't really make a big difference. As long as the response time is good, the professionalism is high, the quality is strong, and of course the customer relationship is maintained, all of these controllable variables can inevitably be outsourced. That's what I found. Why am I going to pay somebody in office £3,000 a month for a job that I can potentially get done for a fraction of that price? Makes no sense. So I started with property management, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the whole property management. If you've got a large property management division right now and you've got it in-house and it's something that you wouldn't look at outsourcing, then maybe start with certain tasks. You know, at the end of the day, if you have a property manager within your business who's managing a large proportion of your portfolio, and that portfolio is a couple hundred properties, or it may even be 20, 30, 40 properties. If one person is managing that and you're paying that one person whatever it may be, I know for a fact, for me, that's a risky position as a business owner, because that one person leaves, who does that workload fall onto? It falls onto you, or me, in this case, the business owner. So realistically, I've hired somebody to make my life easier, and I'm paying them, but then if they don't show up or they decide to leave, I'm in a position where that workload falls on me. Interesting. Not the greatest of positions to be in. Obviously, if you have the budget for it, you could have 2 or 3 property managers. That workload is then diversified, etc., etc. Or an alternative for those who prefer the in-office system is that you can have a property manager who's live, who's active, who's in the office, and can be supported by virtual assistants. Rather than spending, say, 6, 7 grand a month or 8 grand a month across 3 property managers, maybe 2 who are quite senior who are in office, maybe you could get 1 in office or 2 in office, and then for half the budget of a third one, you could get 2 or 3 virtual assistants remote. Just an idea. So yeah, we started with property management. Property management was fairly easy to move remote, and you know, we found it was seamless with VoIP technology, ChatGPT, WhatsApp for Business, easily scalable on a remote level. And it was something that was quite easy to do. And in essence, you know, the integration was between the in-office staff who were active and on the ground, and obviously the virtual assistants who were abroad. Yeah, that's basically it. I wanted to touch on that. I wanted to ensure that all of my real estate friends who are in the market, who are in the business, understood what the values of virtual assistants were. And I hope this message finds you and resonates with you, because the virtual assistant revolution within the UK is coming for sure, because economically it's just too hard to sustain a scalable business, especially on a small and medium-sized level, if all you can do is hire in office, and that's the only option. Because we all know real estate is cutthroat, it's dog eat dog, and the bigger the business is, they will inevitably win. But if your growth is not limited by having in-office staff, and you can grow at a fraction of the cost by hiring resource that allows you to grow, you'd be foolish not to look at it. I know I was, and I was definitely somebody who was not even looking at remote hiring. In fact, I said no to it. So I'm the guy who said no to it initially, to now promoting it and setting up a business around it. So yeah, property management for me was a huge burden in effect, but having it remote, obviously we still have issues. I'm not saying there's no issues, of course there are. You know, property management, just by moving it abroad, yes, we've saved money, but there are still issues. But ultimately we can resource up for a fraction of the cost, and that is the real winner. I hope this was beneficial for all of my real estate friends out there. Hopefully you know, the value of virtual assistants was conveyed to you in a manner that makes sense. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to have a conversation with anybody to see how it could assist you in your business. And yeah, you know, there's huge scope out there, and I feel like we are all in the same boat. Hiring costs are getting much higher, quality of staff is getting lower. If we can retain the quality for a fraction of the price, it's profitable overall. We're able to provide a better service, we're able to make more money, and effectively, for me personally, like sending money or paying people who are respectful and appreciative of the opportunity that's been given is certainly a lot more fulfilling than paying somebody just for them being in the office and acting like they're doing you a favor. This should be a win-win relationship. A staff-employee relationship, whether it's in office or remote, should always be a win-win relationship. And it's not all about money. It's not always about money. It's about long-term growth. And that doesn't necessarily have to be in office. So guys, Hopefully this was beneficial to you. I really appreciate your time if you have watched until the end. If you want to reach out to me and discuss in a little bit more detail how we can work on implementing virtual assistants within your business, feel free to reach out to me. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you.